ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರೇ, ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಮಹತ್ತರವಾದ ಪತ್ರಿಕಾಗೋಷ್ಠಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಈ ಪತ್ರಿಕಾಗೋಷ್ಠಿಯನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ AICC ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳು, ದೆಹಲಿಯ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಘಟಕದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಅಮೃತಾ ಧವನ್ ಅವರು ಈ ಪತ್ರಿಕಾಗೋಷ್ಠಿಯನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಮೇಜರ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ತಮಗೇನಾದರೂ ಇದಿದ್ದರೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ತರ್ಜುಮೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ. ನಂತರ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೋತ್ತರಗಳು ಕೂಡ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
A very good afternoon to all the media people over here. I am Amrita Dhawan. I am Secretary of All India Congress Committee, and today All India Congress Committee is holding press conferences around 21 states and with 21 women leaders who are taking this press conference across the country. Since we all know that there has been a lot of noise around women reservation bill that has come in the parliament on 19th of September, and that was the day that women across party line and above politics, they stood for women's rights and women reservation. There was a huge excitement, happiness across the country that finally, after 9.5 years in which BJP's Modi government is in power, we will finally see women reservation bill coming in the parliament. But fortunately or unfortunately, that level of excitement and happiness, it went down the rail when we saw the final draft of the bill. And this is the time that we expose the treachery done by the government in the pretext of the upcoming elections, just to garner the brownie points, just to garner the attention, whereas the content and the substance in the bill is not as empowering, as strengthening as it should have been and was expected in the bill. Reservation for women in politics from panchayat to parliament has had a deep-rooted struggle, agony, pain and challenges, the entire journey that women reservation bill has seen from panchayat to parliament. Even before independence, leaders like Sarojini Naidu ji, she wrote a letter to British Prime Minister of that time that definitely, since the constitution is happening, we believe that women should have equality. We don't need preferential treatment, we need equality. So this is a struggle that has happened from the day we got our independence, even before independence. We have seen the entire debate and the discussions in the parliament about this women reservation bill that was tabled by the BJP government. The intent of the government is false, and we can say that Indian National Congress is a true voice of women in this country, whereas the BJP is a fallacy. They don't actually believe in women reservation or women empowerment. This party, BJP, has always been anti-women from their actions, from their words, and finally we saw from the bill as well. In the history of this country, we have never seen a bill which comes with conditions. A bill which is told to the women of the country that you have to wait for another 8 to 10 years or maybe more. A bill where it is said by the government that we are passing the bill, but the benefits will be given to women women after 10-15 years. There is no timeline. There is no particular specification about when it is going to start, the procedure, the process. Just by mentioning that there are two conditions, census and delimitation, it doesn't validate when are we going to get women reservation in this country. Why it is so difficult for the BJP to ensure that there is a political participation of women in the country. We are half of the population. That's why we always say in Hindi, Adi Abadi Pura Hak. We have still not got that. And since the entire I was on this bill, so we feel highly betrayed and disappointed with BJP government, though this has been the pattern of BJP, that it always shows you something and gives you something else. There is a history of women reservation that I have shared with you. But I will also share with you how Congress and BJP is different when it comes to women reservation or women political participation in Indian political system. Till today, BJP has never had a national president, any women national president. RSS never have a women president. Unfortunately or fortunately, they don't have a choice, otherwise they would have appointed a male president on Mahila Morcha also. But here they don't have a choice, so they keep it at a distance, and they are by choice, if they are given a chance, they would not even appoint a women president for a women wing of BJP Mahila Morcha. That's how ghastly this process of idea is with the BJP. Whereas when the Congress comes, I would like to share, we had 5 women presidents of Indian National Congress. Definitely before independence and after independence, we had Annie Besant ji, Sarojini Naidu ji, Nalini Sen Gupta ji. Then post-independence, we had Indira ji, Sonia Gandhi ji. Ask BJP, do they have any women president history? They will say no, because they don't believe in empowering women. They don't believe that women can lead the country, they can lead the party. It is the Congress that has given the first women governor, Sarojini Naidu ji, in 1947. It is the Congress that has given the first chief minister, women chief minister, Sucheta Kriplani ji, in 1974. It is the Congress that has given the first women speaker, Meera Kumar ji, in 2009. It is the Congress that has given the first women president of India, Rashtrapati Pratibha Devi Singh Patil ji, in 2007. It is the Congress that has given the first women prime minister to this country, Indira Gandhi ji. When we see any Indian origin person leading any other country in the world, BJP thump so much, they do thump chesting, as if it is the India that has done the elections in the other country and the new president or the vice president or the prime minister is initiated by the Indian government. Whereas within the country, BJP has never ever given the opportunity to the women of this country. And BJP doesn't have a moral stand to talk about women reservation, because the content of the bill, as I have already said, is highly disappointing. However, we appreciate that even for the election purposes, to eye on the elections, they have brought the bill. The bill is passed. It's because the entire country stood by it. We have seen that women reservation is a brainchild of late former Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi ji. It was in 1989 when he brought the bill. It couldn't stand in the parliament. It got passed in Lok Sabha, but it lost chance in Rajya Sabha. it was him who brought this idea of women reservation in panchayats and local bodies elections. Because he knew that women bring different perspective to the table. Because he understands that this is how we can bring equality in politics and we can have women in this country leading our way out. So Panchayati Raj system, the entire concept of women reservation in local bodies has been the idea of Rajiv Gandhi ji. We have also seen that after 1989, many attempts were made. In 1992, finally women got reservation in local panchayats, in local bodies, nagar palikas. We did 73rd, 74th amendment and the bill could see the light of the day and it became a law in the country. And today proudly Congress stands and say, when we see a women sarpanch in a panchayat, we feel proud of Congress party. That we have had leaders who believe in actual empowerment of women in the society. Later, when Dev Gauraji's government was here, we saw this women reservation bill coming up, being introduced in the parliament. It didn't work, and there were many other attempts. Even in Vajpayee's government also there were attempts, but it fell. Now, when we had a UPA government in 2004 onwards, it was Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, who were committed to fulfill this resolve of giving representation to women in Lok Sabha and state assemblies. We introduced the bill in 2008. The bill went to the committee for further deliberations and discussions, and finally the bill got passed in Rajya Sabha under Congress government in 2010, which everybody in the country knew. We celebrated that minute. We saw that there is a difference how Congress presented the bill and how today BJP has presented the bill. BJP's bill is a conditional bill, not giving freedom to the women to contest 2024 elections. We have also seen that in 2010, in Lok Sabha, the consensus couldn't be made and our bill couldn't see the light of the day at that point in time. But Congress was committed. Government changed, BJP came into power with absolute majority in 2014. Since 2014 till today, it took BJP 9.5 years to present women reservation bill. Whereas Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji, Congress president of that time, in 2016 she wrote letter to the Prime Minister, in 2017 she wrote letter to the Prime Minister, in 2018 Rahul Gandhi ji wrote letter to the Prime Minister, Mallikarjun Kharge ji wrote letter to the Prime Minister, but they never had a reply from the Prime Minister on women reservation. The silence showed that the interest is not women reservation, the interest is to garner political points. And that's how, when we saw the content of the bill, it turned out to be a complete empty vessel, because what is the point if you have a law and that law cannot be implemented immediately? What is the point? How it is going to empower women? It's like, wait for another decade, wait for another 15 years, because there is no timeline to that bill. Putting these two conditions, whereas delimitation and census, we all know that the government is not mandating on census. The government doesn't have the intent to implement census, to start a census. Otherwise, they would have done by now. They are not even disclosing the data that of census 2011 was done. That is what our leader, Rahul Gandhi ji, spoke in the parliament and said to the government, demanded that the data be made public. The 2011 data be made public because it was based on social, economical and caste census. It was based on the fact that the country should know how our policies are affecting the beneficiaries and how many beneficiaries we have. So the government is not even disclosing that data. And how women reservation is connected to delimitation, is connected to the census. If today Prime Minister wants, he can do women reservation in 2024. But to our dismay, we can see that he doesn't want that. But he did have a choice, so he had to table it. Even in Karnataka, for example, like we have 5 Lok Sabha seats reserved for SC community. We have 2 Lok Sabha seats reserved for scheduled tribes. What is the harm? I mean, just reserve 1 seat each in both the communities. We can have this election seeing women contesting it. The problem is, this government doesn't want in 2024 that women should be a part of parliament procedures and policy makings and decisions. They don't want it. And that is how we can see that the interest is completely different. The interest is just to come on television every day and say, oh yeah, we brought the women reservation, good. We congratulate you, we thank you, but we don't appreciate the way you have brought it. We don't appreciate because we as women don't know when I will get the opportunity in this country as a part of being officially and legally to contest this election. I don't know. Because we all know that winnability is the major obstacle when it comes to women and weaker section in the elections. People say, oh, women cannot win, so they don't get chances. Weaker section cannot win, so they don't get chances. That is why we need official legal representation, constitutional representation. But this is the reality that for another many years we won't have. Because some TV channels are showing that it is going to be implemented in 2029. This is misleading. Let's not mislead the country. Let's not mislead the women of this country. The reality is, even the government doesn't know when it is going to start, when it's going to be completed, and when the women will get the final opportunity. So by betraying women in this country, Modi ji has done nothing, but he will know in coming elections that how women is agitated, who have been waiting for years and years for this particular bill to pass. We have a key questions that we have already said. Why no census from last 9.5 years? Why reservation bill was not introduced when he knew the bill is going to take time, when he knew the census and the delimitation part? He would have brought the bill in 2015, 16, 17, so that by the time this bill becomes a law and its implementation starts, we have the delimitation and census in process. We have it on table. But that shows the entire disconnect between Modi ji ka BJP ka jo soch hai and what they think that they're actually giving to the women of this country. We have also demanded to include OBC category. Women coming from other backward classes should get the right to represent in the parliament. And it is not because there is any politics attached to it. We have seen that BJP and Modi ji, they talk a lot about rights and benefits for other backward classes. They talk a lot about OBC, as if he's the messiah of OBC. But when today we say give representation to OBC, the BJP is silent on that. That is their dual face. That is their dual politics. It is completely exclusionary. It is not inclusive. And also, it doesn't mention what is going to happen to the union territories like Ladakh, Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir. This has been a complete evil management, and we somehow feel that when this law on local bodies and panchayats came, we can see, because we heard Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji say in the parliament she mentioned that we have 15 lakh elected women representatives coming from down, working on down in panchayats and in local bodies. And I think I have completely told the point of view of the Congress party here. We want government to disclose 2011 census, to remove the cap of 50% reservation, and to include other backward class communities in this bill for women to represent well. Because when we will see more than 180 women in the parliament, definitely no prime minister can afford to ignore them. Definitely, when women will be a part of policy making, decision making, deliberations, all our policies will be pro-women, will be protecting the rights of women. It won't need any begging. It is going to be the right of every woman in this country. Because women understand all kinds of perspectives, women bring on table the vibrancy, the need and the requirement of today's time. So the struggle is still not ending with BJP giving hopelessly disappointing bill to us. Though we are aiming, we are hoping it is going to be a law, and as and when in 2024, when the Congress party comes into power, we promise to this nation, we promise to the women of this country that Congress is going to bring amendments and is going to ensure that the implementation of the law is immediate and the OBC reservation is included, unlike what the BJP has presented. Thank you, and if there are any questions, we can have them. Yes. Yeah. So in law you can have amendments. There has been law in the past also. New governments can bring constitutional amendments. They can bring amendments in the law. And that is why the Congress party is saying that we are going to amend this law so that it is inclusive, it is empowering, and it is actually representing the women of this country. So 2014, Congress coming into power, Congress bringing changes in this law. Changes that are positive, that are progressive, and that are inclusive.
That means Congress wanted to make the amendment to the Constitution.
We wanted BJP government to table the bill that was passed in 2010. They should have brought that same bill, and they would have just included other backward classes in that. But they twisted the bill. They made women reservation bill conditional with no timelines. That shows that they don't want it to be executed or implemented. Because nobody understands, even a layman is not understanding what is going to happen, who's going to actually contest the elections and when. So, when this bill, the entire noise was there that the bill is going to come, we all thought it is going to be a 2010 bill. But when we actually saw and learned about the content of the bill, the entire gubara phus ho gaya, it diffused. So, changing the content of the bill itself shows that the BJP has applied no brain into that, but just, pom-pom show, just to say that, oh, we brought something. Good, thumbs up to them, but it is incomplete, it is inaccurate, it is not inclusive. Very nice question. And that is what I said in my statement right now, that winnability has always been an obstacle when it comes to women in politics and weaker section. I as a woman, I have contested local bodies, I have contested state legislature. I know how it is difficult for anybody to accept that a woman can win. That is why we need a law. That is why we need reservation. So that nobody can question. If Congress women will win, win. Even if any other party women will win, win. At least women will win. Women will be in the parliament. It doesn't matter whose party women goes inside. Women will go inside. So winnability comes as a hurdle. right now till today in internalizing that how many women we should make to contest, and that is a reality. And I'm sure that when we see Priyanka Gandhi ji talking about ladki hu lad sakti hu, in Uttar Pradesh we saw 40% women contesting. So slowly and gradually somebody has to bring change, and Priyanka Gandhi ji on her level, she brought a big change in UP politics. It doesn't matter who lost, but she made that initiative, and that is why in Uttar Pradesh we could see so many women contesting MLA election just because Priyanka Gandhi ji had a resolve for that. So in a male dominating society, resolve can be to an extent, but when it becomes a law, it becomes your right. Then you don't have to really ask somebody how many women. It will be like, who all? Oh my God, it's very difficult to select out of them. So let that thing come, let that equality come. We don't need any kind of favors from anybody. Thank you. No more questions? Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.